obviously I give like a very huge, hi everyone, like this. I'm always like this. And they're like, hi teacher. I'm Lydia, I'm 25, and I'm from the Caribbean island of St. Lucia. I'm sure you know. Yeah. And I've been here for almost 5 years. Yeah, and I'm studying architecture and teaching English part-time. Yeah. To be honest, I will be honest, I don't think a lot of people, including myself, I don't think we're qualified to teach English. At least in my country, you need to have like the education background. You need to go to school and like do a course on how to be a teacher, how to have this kind of skill. So I think many people are not qualified, and I was actually quite surprised that just speaking English is a good enough qualification to teach English. No, so it doesn't, just because you speak English doesn't necessarily mean you can help anyone to learn English. It all depends. And I found that teaching English, I learned a lot of things myself. Obviously, I'm a native English speaker, so I know, okay, this is how we do things, but do you know, I never knew why until I came here. But I'm learning so much of why things are like this in English, because I need to learn to teach them. So I'm learning, and I've learned so much. It's unbelievable, believe me.
So you think it's easier for foreigners to apply a job
Foreigners?
Yeah.
Of course. I think native English speakers, it's much easier for them, especially if they don't have an accent. Because for me, this right now is not how I speak. This is not my accent. This is just me speaking in Taiwan.
Oh, really?
It's very different.
Oh.
Do you know when I teach, I need to give like a very exaggerated American accent. So
What's the difference? Tell us.
it's very different.
Examples. Exhibit number 1. Exhibit A. If you're gonna order at Starbucks.
I would say, I would like a coffee, please. And I need to speak like this with a higher voice. Because for them, they said it makes the parents happier to hear this, speak like this, like a flight attendant.
That's American accent?
Yeah, it's kind of like a mix because I cannot keep on doing this accent for a very long time. It's not my natural accent. They said it's better if I try to speak like this. In addition to the accent and being this person that I'm not, it also actually, there's a major issue with applying here as a foreigner because of the skin colors. And
Really?
yes.
There's white privilege in here?
You have no idea. Yes, it's like, how do I say it? I don't want to sound bad, so I'm trying to phrase it very
Yeah,
nicely.
there's a camera right here.
Yes, so it's kind of like they have this standard. Like, this is not okay. If it's like a white person, it's okay. And if you ask them why, they would say that the parents want the full American, they're so obsessed. The full American experience. And actually, a lot of the times, those persons, they cannot teach as well. And they're also, sometimes they take it for granted. They're like, oh, I'm white, so I can do whatever I want in the classroom. But for us, actually, sometimes, like my friends, they apply to the job, right? And they get the interview, and when they get to the interview, they will see them and be like, yeah, that's not okay. Because you look a certain way. It's happened to me before. I just shook it off and just ignored it because I don't need this negativity, but it has happened to so many of my friends here. Like, they don't even give you a chance to get to know you or to see how you teach. They just see you and automatically they're like, no, the parents won't like this. The parents will think you're from Africa or something like that. So yeah, they often tell me I'm from Africa. I don't know why. So I think yes, it's easier for foreigners to apply for the English job.
Correct. Typical.
But
Some kind of foreigners.
yes, but it's very specific. And I'm so happy that there is still a lot of places that accept the darker colored people. It makes me happier because, I don't know, it's nice to see, it's refreshing. Like, because that experience was honestly not a nice one. It made me feel terrible, actually. And it kind of gave me a fear every time I need to go to a job interview. I need to feel like, oh my God, what if they see me and they're like, no. And you know it's not something that you're doing wrong. They're just, actually I went to an interview once and she saw me and she was like, you're not a native English speaker. I'm like, how do you know? Do you want my passport? Do you want to Google? So I Googled it for her. I'm like, here, you look, you see. And she's like, yeah, you're not a native English speaker. Because they don't know, they don't recognize us as native English speakers. So yeah, it depends. What do we say?
I have.
Have got. Very good. I have got something. You
have got.
You have got something. How about we?
You have got.
When my kids, they kind of trust me enough to speak to me about personal problems. For me, it's very sweet when they can speak to me about these things. Because every time I give the quiz paper, they look and it's like 95 and they're like, oh no. And I'm like, why? It's 95. So, yeah. So I took the opportunity to actually ask that class, each one of them, like, how about you? What do your parents say, or what do you think is a good score? So I love that I can invite them to speak to me and express themselves, to tell me, yeah, I'm their teacher, but I'm kind of their friend too. And it's actually good for me because after a long day of like the university life, I can go there and also feel a bit of relief, because sometimes I'm very stressed out and I go to work and I speak to them and they speak to me and I completely forget about everything else, all of my problems in that little time, maybe 2 hours or so. If I ask them, which vegetable do you like, or which vegetable don't you like, and they're gonna tell me, like draw a picture, and I tell them, oh, this is an eggplant, and they're gonna be like, eggplant, okay. And a few months later, they retain this information. Do you know why? Because they use it, because they remember. It's important to them. This is the best feeling ever. Being a teacher, if I teach something and they remember it, it's, I don't know, it makes me feel so happy and so proud of my students.
Like finally you spoke.
Yeah, like, yes, you listen to me. Yes, I'm doing my job. I have passed on some knowledge. It's how I feel. Like, I love eating, going out to eat. So I feel like having this extra money really makes it easier to do things, to enjoy life. And not to mention, I need to save for certain things, like, for example, going home is so expensive. A plane ticket is crazy expensive because it's halfway across the world. So yes, I actually do need this money also for my next step. For me, because I'm 25, I don't have my parents. Like, I don't depend on my parents. I've already become fully independent. So I think it's a great way for me. And I love buying nice things and especially eating nice food. But for sure, the money is number one. Then the kids is number two.
Hi I'm about